Soccer? Can't stand soccer. It's the least talented sport on earth.
We interrupt our program to bring you...
Now what it is and what it ain't, cause what it was nothing, man, we still getting paid. Just the city boys. Messi, ain't nothing but the city boys. Ain't nothing but the city boys.
Welcome to another episode of the City Boys Show. I'm Javier. This is Danny. We got a remote episode today.
It's the snow day. You know, I have a remote job. Love remote work, but bro, you don't get snow days on remote work.
Nah, you know what kills me about my job, bro? You never could work from home. But the moment it snows and nobody could get to work, bro, you can work from home. Don't worry. You got this, bro. Drives me crazy, bro.
That's actually the worst of both worlds.
Did you shovel?
I did shovel, bro. There's so much snow, homie. It's crazy out there.
Yo, I've been busting my ass, working hard. It's annoying.
Did you get the $20 from Mamdami? Did you sign up?
It's actually $30. And
is it?
No, he didn't pay for me to do my own walkway. And on top of that, he might raise my property taxes. So me and Mamdani have to have a conversation ASAP.
You're crazy, bro.
By the way, talking about snow, Justin Hack after our game was like, they asked him like, "Oh, are you happy to be? Do you miss the snow?" And he was like, "Nah, I definitely don't miss the snow." He had some interesting things to say about Yankee Stadium too.
Oh, what did he say? I didn't hear this.
So they asked him like, "Oh, how was the crowd basically from here compared to where you played with NYCFC?" And he basically said like, "Oh, it's hard to compare. The crowd was really loud here, but in Yankee Stadium, the stadium's a lot bigger, so it's hard. Like you can't really. It's not apples to apples comparison." But then he also talked about how the pitch was smaller at Yankee Stadium, and they're like, "What do you prefer, Yankee Stadium or LA Galaxy?" And he said LA. So my boy's gone, papa. He's already an LA boy.
I think this even makes more sense. Hack who, bro? We're over him.
Yeah, I'm not over him. He looked cute in that white. I'm not gonna lie.
It was weird, honestly. I thought it wasn't gonna like impact me so much, but seeing him in that jersey I felt a little uncomfortable. I was like, this doesn't feel right, man.
It doesn't feel right. You know, I mean, it's been what we've been talking about already, but the New York Post had a conversation with him, and it was on the paper. It was in the paper today, and it was like, why? It was kind of like, why did you leave? And he's like, it was just a little too late what they offered me, and like, he's like, I think they only came in when they realized what other people were offering me, which is crazy.
Disrespected.
He felt disrespected. And now we're in a situation. So let's get into this NYCFC versus LA Galaxy. Anything else before we get into the games? Anything else in your life you want to talk about? Okay, good. Good. Our remote pods are terrible, bro. We got no energy. We don't want to shoot the pod. But no, I feel good. I'm tired, but we're going to make this happen. NYCFC versus LA. What were your expectations going into this game?
I mean, we talked about it last week. The team is still figuring it out. I was thinking about this process, seeing how the game ended, and you know, this is an extension of preseason in a little way. You know what I mean? Like, your boy Pascal Janssen, he didn't exactly start all the starters during preseason, right? He used the preseason to still finagle, see, hey, can Kevin O'Toole play the sixth? What happens if I mess with the lineup? Let's see what the young kids look like. He didn't use the preseason to get really the starting lineup fit ready. And I think you saw that. I think you saw a lot of miscommunication early. You saw a lot of kind of things being worked on real time. And so I think, in a way, maybe I didn't expect this, but now that I think about it, it just became an extension of the preseason. And this is the team warming up. And you saw that, and you saw how long it took them to get kind of on the same page. What were your expectations, and did it meet those expectations?
Well, first, let's talk about the starting 11. Did we see this starting 11 happen? Because let's look at the starting 11. We had Matt Freese at goalkeeper, and then we had a back four. We had O'Toole, Raul, Thiago Martins, Tavon Gray, O'Neal, Traywin, Wolf, Morales, Ojeda, and Fernandez. I kind of, before last week, I was saying Fernandez is playing this 9. This is his spot right now. And it did play out that way. Did I think Traywin was going to be in? I thought Keaton Parks was going to start this game. But I think they're easing him in back into the season, back into, having consistent minutes. So it was interesting to have Traywin. It wasn't like a back 3 where Traywin was back there. I mean, he would come back, but it was more like he was playing that 6 mid defensive role. What were your thoughts on, I guess, the lineup or Kai Traywin?
I thought the lineup is what we expected it to be. I do think that, you kept saying they're going to play 3 in the back, and I kept saying I think they're going to play 4 in the back, and you noticed that they kind of transitioned a lot. I did see a lot of 3 in the back where you saw Tavon Gray, Thiago Martins, and Gustavo play on the left, and then you saw Kevin O'Toole and Gray move up the wings. So I think you were kind of spot on that. And on Traywin, I thought he was going to play a center back position. I saw him in the midfield, but for someone who hasn't gotten a lot of minutes, just landed a few weeks ago, I thought he looked pretty comfortable there in the midfield. And you heard, Taylor Twellman say, hey, for someone who's just been here, he's looking comfortable. And I thought he played pretty decent in the midfield. I know you were kind of not as. What'd you think of Traywin's play?
Well, I thought, and it's obviously there's going to be some getting used to being with this squad, but it felt like at times I felt like where Justin Hack was good at is like if he was playing that mid, he would definitely come back. Granted, he was more of that center back minded type of player. That's what we were kind of enforcing on him. And I felt like with Kai Traywin, it wasn't more like, it was like, if you're going to be in the midfield, you can roam and you can be more offensive, which I kind of thought he was going to be more like Justin Hack and get back more, which I don't know if it's just getting eased into this role and figuring out where he's going to be at all times. But I think there's still some room for improvement on that. But yeah, I didn't feel like it was a huge drop off from Justin Hack to Kai Traywin. And this is only his first game. So I think we have a lot of time to see what it's going to be.
On that note, we touched on Justin Hack, but didn't talk about Justin Hack on the pitch. What did you think of Justin Hack on the pitch?
There was only like one moment. Well, there was only one moment where I forgot who he got. He gave a little, nice little knock to be like, all right, now we're going against each other. Was it O'Toole? Do you remember the moment
that hit him? Yeah. And then Hack kind of got up smiling, right?
Yeah. I wanted to know if he was, because he looked to the right. I didn't know if he was smiling to NYCFC's like bench or where he was smiling. I kind of wish we got a little more of a better angle of what was going on, or if that was just like Kevin O'Toole and Justin Hack kind of like, oh, we had to have this tackle happen.
You know what I thought was really interesting was they kind of made Justin Hack like a non-factor in the game. They had him out there, and they weren't even Dean him. Taylor Twellman kind of called it out too. Like, they're leaving him open. They're saying play through Justin Hack because we know where Justin Hack, how he plays, what his weaknesses are. So try to play through him. And the team didn't play through him. I think it sucks for Justin Hack. I'm happy about it, but I think, for it to be your debut your debut with the team and you're kind of a non-factor in the game, it sucks. But they're he of course is going to be a non-factor because all 11 guys on that other side of the pitch know exactly how you play. So I thought that was really, really interesting. And they almost left him open to say, try it, just try it and let's see what happens. And you almost saw no touches from Justin Hack in that game.
Well, I think it also goes to how the game kind of played out. So let's talk about how that game played out. First couple 3 minutes in the game, we let a goal to Klaus. This is one of those moments where I feel like people were just watching the ball. Like if you look at the replay, like Traywin does get to one of the players, but then Klaus everybody's watching Traywin defend this guy instead of then looking to mark a man. And then Klaus is just wide open in the middle of the box. Thiago Martins, I felt like, was a little late to that when there was nobody behind you. I don't know if a midfielder should have been closer up so then they could play more aggressive. And then he just made the shot. Do you give anybody in particular blame for that goal?
I think if I remember closely, I think Kai Traywin could have been the player to get in front of that person.
No, Kai Traywin defended the first guy who then passed it to João Klaus. So he really couldn't have been the guy because he kind of already marked the guy, played his spot, and then the pass got to João Klaus. Okay. But after that, so you could kind of credit it to like, okay, they got a lead. Now they could play more defensive. They could take the foot off the gas and play kind of like a low block, which I think in a sense they kind of did, knowing that whenever they counter, they could be deadly because you saw their wingers are fast, dude, and you really, really had to get back on these guys. So did you feel like, because I feel like after that goal, we dominated possession. Do you think that's just a matter of, they were playing more defensive, they played a low block and just wanted to counter? Or do you think it was us playing our game and, really controlling the ball like we want to, and we want to control the game like we do? We did that first. I think after that goal, it kind of started going our way.
I think it started going that way too. And I think, I kind of blame that first goal, not on a person, but on like miscommunication, not playing a lot together in the preseason, taking off the rust. We heard Janssen say it, right? I think his quote was like that he said to the guys the first 10 to 15 minutes, the lights were on, but nobody was home. And that's why they
savage.
That is savage.
Yo, Pascal says whatever he's thinking. He's such a savage.
I mean, it's a great quote, man. And I think after that goal, it turned on with the team and said, we cannot be lackluster like this. And I think they started playing their game. And I don't think they gave up the goal and then LA Galaxy was like, let's sit the bus for the next 88 minutes with a low log. I think, that's not exactly the most entertaining game. I do think that we were just much more aggressive with the ball. You saw that when they tried to counter, Nico Fernandez was getting in the way. Tavon Gray was getting blocks. We had our center backs pretty much playing in the midfield, and our midfield putting pressure and our front line putting pressure. So I thought it was us playing our game after that goal versus LA Galaxy trying to low block. I think at the end of the game, that low block came in big time after the red card, and that makes life difficult. But that's kind of how I read it. What did you think?
Well, the interesting thing I would say about this game is if we just look at the first half, and this is going to be our bigger discussion because it needs to be talked about. While it feels like, we dominated possession, we were after let's say the first 10 minutes, it felt like we were dominating the game. Let's look at the stats though. Their expected goal was higher than ours. Their total shots were 6 compared to our 3. And then the big number that I think we need to talk about, they had 5 shots on target versus our 0. And we could talk about the shots on target throughout the game. And it goes to the point of we don't have somebody deadly at the 9. We don't have somebody who's going to be that person to take over a game that we need. So do you think that's part of our problems? That kind of evolved to that first half issues where, yes, we might have been dominating the possession, but we weren't really making any dangerous shots. We didn't have any shots on target, and we only had 3 total shots overall for 62% a possession is crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I guess my question though is, were those 5 shots on target in the first 2 minutes of the game, or were they throughout? Because I don't really remember. I remember
they had other dangerous chances. It just feels like we dominated the ball, so I get it, but they did have more dangerous chances than us.
Yeah, no, I agree, but I think it was sporadic versus. So yes, they had 5 shots on target, but 5 shots on target isn't exactly a huge number. And I think for the exception of the Klaus goal, there were some deadly opportunities, but they were sporadic. And I thought our defense was pretty solid. I think the bigger question, the bigger kind of elephant in the room is why weren't we able to produce more shots on target? And I think that, of course, comes from not having a true striker and like how that impacted our game. So I don't know if you want to go right into that and what your thoughts were on that. I have thoughts, but you can go first.
What, on the striker position?
Yes. Oh, is that the reason you think we didn't get more shots on target?
Yeah, I mean, if we had someone more deadly at the 9, more opportunities could have been brought. Yeah, for sure.
But what do you think Nico Fernandez did wrong in that position then?
Well, it's not that Nico Fernandez did wrong, but I do think Nico Fernandez also is all over the pitch. Like, if you look at where Nico Fernandez is half the time, it's not centrally in that box. It's getting the ball from the right side, passing it to the left side, being right next to a winger so then the winger can overlap. Like, it's all that where then, okay, then who's filling that little middle role where we need to have somebody dangerous at? And I think because Nico Fernandez kind of plays like that false 9 where he is more central or more he's brought closer down the pitch to a midfielder, it then leaves us with gaps of like, all right, who's going to be in the box when we need them to be in the box? And I feel like that wasn't necessarily the storyline of the first half. Like, I didn't think like, oh, we were just crossing the ball and nobody was in the box, but it does feel like that's going to be our problem long term, and it needs to be discussed or it needs to be addressed somehow in the interim while Alonso Martinez is injured.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I think there were a few times where Tavon Gray, Hannes Wolf, Maxi Morales were like, all right, I'm going to cross into the box, see what happens. And there's no one there except LA Galaxy players.
Yeah.
And that was a little disappointing.
But the thing is, even when there was crosses done, I just feel like Nico doesn't have the height for it. I don't know. And I don't know why. For me, Alonso Martinez isn't tall, but I feel like he does get like, he's got hops or something because I always feel like he's near the ball. While Nico, I saw a couple chances and it's just like he looks small compared to these center backs where when it comes to aerial duels, he's not going to win them.
Yeah. Well, on that note, right? I know we were like freaking out about, and our memes made it sound like, wow, we need a striker immediately. But I do think we got to calm down and like give an opportunity more to Nico Fernandez. One, we were playing against one of the best center backs in MLS, right?
Defender of the
year. And a team that's well coached. And so to say,
well coached is a stretch, but sure.
Point is, I think it's a very small sample size. He doesn't have a lot of time in there. I don't think he was terrible. I just think that he wasn't as direct as maybe we hoped he would be, but that's because he's doing so much more around the pitch. And I thought he put a lot, I think what he was good for was the press. There were a few times where he was able to take a ball from a center back or from a right back, left back, and like make a play. And unfortunately, there was no one else in the box. So then that kind of the play died. But yeah, I still think he has a chance.
Now that we've been talking about Nico, let's get into the penalty. First, Tavon delivered that ball. That ball was nasty. It was a great ball by Tavon, and it just goes to show Tavon's a beast, and his passing has improved drastically. When you saw it initially, did you actually think it was a penalty?
No, I didn't.
Bro, I thought that was a straight up offensive foul, stiff arm to the face. It was wild.
Agreed. I wasn't sure, when they went to VAR, I thought they were checking to see if Nico hit him first before he got touched, because that was a straight hit to the chest, bro.
Yo, I know he gave him a good stiff arm. Well, I will say, like, all right, he had his arm extended, but then who's the guy? Garces, I think his name is, then pulls him down. So I think that's where you have the issue. Like, if they don't see the arm, like they don't see the arm as an actual like stiff arm, it's just like his arm is out, then the pulling of the jersey is where then you have an issue. Then that becomes a penalty. You know what I mean? And I think that's how they saw it. It sucks because right when the ref was going to say like, oh, this is how we see the play, his mic cuts out. Like, bro, we're Sunday Night Soccer. Come on, MLS. They should have made him reset it or something, because then we didn't get any color to why they chose to do that. But it worked out for us. And then he gets his second yellow from that, and then it's like, oh, now it's all NYCFC. Now we should have this game in the bag, right? Go scores the penalty, and then we have 30 minutes of basically NYCFC, LA Galaxy down a man. Did you think at that point like we were gonna win this game?
Bro, I was fumbling to get on my phone to put in money on that bet. And then I had to deposit funds, and I was like, nah, I'm too lazy. Luckily, I didn't.
I took the tie no bet, so I'm good.
Bro, and not only wait, what? You put a tie-in bet?
I put tie no bet. So I got my money back, but I didn't win any money.
But and then what made me really feel like we were gonna win the game was when Keaton Parks came into the game. Oh my god, you forget how good Keaton was. Keaton and Nico Fernandez looked like they were about to score 17 times, homie. Keaton had a few headers in the box. The passing that was happening to Nico Fernandez, I was like, I forget how much I miss this guy. He is just so good. How'd you feel about him?
Yeah, I feel like Keaton Parks. I forgot I think the broadcaster was saying it's like you get Keaton Parks and it feels like you have a new player again, because we haven't seen him in so long. I think the last time we saw him was May 15 of 2025. That's a minute ago. So to feel like we got somebody again of his quality, it's like you got a new player. Like that was our transfer window right there. And yeah, he's gonna bring it. I'm happy to see him back on the pitch. How it's all gonna work out with all these midfielders, I don't know. But he's definitely got to be one of our starters. I just wonder if is he restricted in minutes due to his injuries? Yeah. Or is this something that like, okay, first you got to ease him in, or is this like a season long thing where because we know he has blood clots, it's like you have to only put him in for like there's a minute count every game.
Yeah, I would say that. Sorry,
no, go.
I would say that he's got to be a starter, man. Like long term, he's just so good, and to not have that like such a productive and great player in the lineup is hard to explain that. So I hope we get more minutes when he's fully fit, because he's just fantastic.
So another player who made their MLS debut, 80th minute. So I didn't know this, but Pascal Jansen said it after the game. Tavon Gray was feeling sick a couple of days before the game, or like leading up to the game. So I don't think he fully trained as much as he should have been, like the days prior. And so in their mind, Tavon Gray wasn't going to have the full 90 minutes. And we saw Drew, I don't want to say his name wrong.
I think it's Barrera, right?
Yeah, Drew Barrera make his MLS debut, 19 years old. Thoughts on his performance?
I mean, it was such a small sample size, and the thing is, it was a small sample size, and on top of that, they were down a man. So at that point in the game, they're not here trying to score; they're trying to not lose. So so I feel like we didn't get to see a ton of it. He didn't look bad out there, so like I'm excited to see more minutes from him.
I thought he looked good. I didn't think he'd not. Like, you're making it sound like, yeah, he just had an okay. Like, the dude he was part of almost a very scoring, dangerous opportunity where he got past the defender and then he passed it to Keaton Parks, I think it was, I forgot who it was, but it was a great move by him. He gets it to Keaton Parks, and then I think Keaton Parks get it to Nico, and they had another great opportunity. And it was all because of him. So I feel like for his debut, for his age, he didn't skip a beat, and that's really promising, especially because we were so concerned about Micha being gone and like, wait, we don't have another right back. But I think it's to the point where they felt so comfortable with this guy that they're like, he can take over Micha's spot and we're not losing much or we're gaining something. So that's really, really promising to think about this kid. And for such a young age, like I was thinking about how young this kid is. He was born in 2007. Think about all the things this kid hasn't experienced that we have. He never experienced Blockbuster, bro. His Netflix was CDs being delivered to people. Well, no. He never experienced that.
Bro, you think that's bad? I was watching videos on TikTok, and this dude was quizzing some kids about like, are you an MLS fanatic, right? And they're here like and asking like decent MLS questions, and these kids are answering it. And then they like ask him something about like what's this guy's name? The guy who's coaching the Red Bulls now. Bradley.
Oh, Bradley, yeah.
Yeah, somehow Bradley gets brought up in the conversation, and he goes, "Oh yeah, that was before me. I was born in 2015." What? What? That kid's 11 years old, bro. 10 or 11 years
when
old.
somebody comes at me and they say something about being born in the 2000s, I'm like, just get out my face, bro. This just drives me crazy. And now they look at like if you were born in like the 90s, it's like, no, you're old. Oh, snap.
Bro, but there are like functioning human beings that are born in 2020.
All right, now you're wilding, bro.
They're 6, bro, but they can talk, they can have conversations, they can call you dumb. And they were born in 2020. That's crazy.
Bro, Drew Barr never experienced a sidekick. He never experienced getting charged for weekday calls. This kid is missing out, bro. That's all I'm gonna say. Young, too many young guys. There's a bunch of pictures of him with like the coaching staff when he was like super young. Like he looks like the coaching staff's son. Like they just brought him because like they were like, you could bring your son to work day today. It's wild.
See that.
What else from this game can we take away? So go. Come on, just talk, bro. Stop being so nice. Just because we're not in the same room, you cut me off all the time in the same room.
Well, what we didn't talk about was everyone saw the struggle at the 9, right? And the broadcasters kept bringing it up.
Wait. But we know. Are you going to go with Talles Magno conversation? Because we never talked about his debut. Let's just talk about the Talles Magno coming out.
So you literally asked me what I want to talk about. And then when I said what I talk
because
about.
I like to interrupt people. Talles Magno. What did you make of his debut? And then we could talk about the 9 because it all ties into Talles Magno and the 9.
I think it was not. We just didn't see enough. We didn't see enough. It was early in the game. It kind of looked like old Talles Magno just a little bit, but it's early. It's early, and I'm excited to see him get more minutes and more time. And he had a little bit of my understanding like not fit in training camp, right? So like he's still getting adjusted to the team. I know a lot of people have given up on the Talles Magno train. But I still want to see him. I still want to see more minutes out of him and see what he could produce.
But like I kept saying not fit, but he looked like a little out of shape to me too. Was it just me? Or I felt like he was running a little slow when that ball was delivered to him. I'm like, you looking a little slow there, Papa. It's been a while, but you gained a couple pounds. What's going on, man?
Bro, I mean, that's kind of what was mentioned, that like he wasn't like ready to go in preseason, bro. Like, Janssen has him doing 2-a-days and he couldn't keep up.
Well, they never mentioned like he couldn't keep. It wasn't I didn't take it as a stamina thing. I took it as like he like had a knock or something. Maybe it's a stamina thing though. I will say probably what they all talked about the transition from Nick Cushing to Pascal Janssen was like day and night because there was like 2-a-days and like it was like they really had to work. So Talles Magno probably came back and was like, God damn it, man. I was just chilling in a beach in Brazil. Now I got 2-a-days. It sucks.
And in Brazil, there's no coach in the world doing 2-a-days, bro. They chilling out there. They practice for 30 minutes, play some volleyball, call it a day.
So I know where you're going with the next point. We'll see what Talles Magno can do. But I think you were going with, all right, we still have questions at the 9. And one thing that Taylor Twellman kept mentioning was Hannes Wolf at the 9. Do you see it? And what do you think of it?
I mean, he said it so many times that I think he convinced me that I should see it. And I don't know. Like, I like what he's saying. You know what I mean? Because I just think my thing that really kills me is that I think we're losing so much by having Nico Fernandez as striker versus having him in his rightful position. So, which when I say rightful, I mean the 10, but really at this point with Maxi still on it on the right wing. And so I just think we could get so much out of him on the right, Augustino Haidt on the left, and then maybe you put Wolf in the striker position. He's right. Hannes Wolf is very direct. I've kind of noticed this game too, where Hannes Wolf had the ability to like get past defenders on a one-on-one, and you kind of want that from the striker position. I don't know if they've practiced it at all. We haven't seen it really, but I don't know. Twellman convinced me. Also, is it Twellman? Are we saying that right? Or is it Tellerman? Now I'm like really confused at this guy's last
Twellman.
name.
Taylor Twellman. You had it right.
So yeah, I mean, he was kind of convincing me. I don't know. What did you think of that idea?
I don't know. Like you kind of mentioned it last time. Hannes Wolf. Are you getting a hot Hannes Wolf or are you getting a cold Hannes Wolf? If you're going by that standard of what you said last time, do we want a striker who will go hot and cold for a couple games? Hell no. So it's like I feel like Nico, what you're gonna get is consistency. And it might not be a bunch of shots on target, but when he does get those opportunities, he'll take advantage. So that's what scares me about Hannes Wolf. Can he consistently do it? And yeah, I just don't know about Hannes Wolf. But I didn't even think about Hannes Wolf till Taylor Twellman said it. And then because Taylor Twellman said it, I feel like I was highlighting Hannes Wolf. I'm like, oh yeah, like look what he just did there. But it might just be us like, oh, somebody just said it. So now it's in our head that he could play the 9.
Yeah.
But I also am a little confused why we're not. Did Seymour Reed come in at the end of the game? I might be blanking out.
I don't remember him coming into the game.
I don't remember him coming in either. I'm curious why we're not seeing Seymour Reed. If there's a hole that he needs to fill, and we're saying Seymour Reed is a number 9.
Well, didn't you ask about the
so
number 9 position, Pascal Janssen?
Yeah, so I asked Pascal Janssen about the 9 position. I basically asked him, is Nico Fernandez, is this his position now, or is this more a day-to-day thing to see if he's going to stay there? And he says Nico Fernandez is a great fit for this, and we think he can fill this role. But also, we're looking at Talles Magno, who still needs to get fit or go through this injury. And Seymour Reed is also an opportunity, a person that we have interest in playing this role, basically, is what he said. So there's definitely interest in Seymour getting more consistent minutes at the 9, but I'm just surprised that we didn't see it this first game. If they're down a man and you could get Seymour Reed, who is kind of like one of those guys who is faster, who when you put him on the pitch, he kind of is a dangerous attacker.
But I think we touched on this last week, man. Like if you have to put in one number 9 and Nico's done his time, Talles Magno's the next one up on the depth chart, I think. From now, he just has maybe.
Is he? Wait, okay. So then you're saying Talles Magno is ahead of Seymour Reed?
I think so.
At the 9 position.
Yeah. Do you?
He looked a little slow. I don't know. We'll see. We know what Talles Magno could do with the ball on his feet. It's just we didn't see enough of him, but I guess we're gonna find out.
All right. Lastly, something I want to talk about this game. Maxi Morales. I knew he was old, bro. I did not realize that he was 38 years old and 360 days. My man is turning 39 in 3 days.
Hey, Maxi, happy birthday. Yo, can we throw a party with Maxi? Invite us to your birthday party, bro.
Bro, he surpasses his own record as the oldest player in club history to start a regular season match.
Yo,
And I guess
wait.
game after this is going to break it.
Oh, I want to know who's the oldest MLS player. I think it's that Atlanta goalkeeper. That guy went on forever. Or Dax McCarthy. How old was that guy when he stopped playing? They're both. Look up the oldest MLS player. Maxi, you can do it. I think, and if Maxi, so they asked Maxi before the game in the pre-match press conference, and John Bainey of the Pigeon said, is this your last season? And he said, my body feels good. I don't like, I'll leave the door open to that, basically. Like, I think he's willing to keep going. He's got the body. Wait, so who's the oldest MLS player? Did you get it?
The oldest player is Pat Onstad, who played until he was 43 years old.
Was he a goalkeeper? That doesn't count.
He was a goalkeeper, yeah.
These goalkeepers don't count, bro. All you got to do is stand there.
The oldest, this is most recent oldest active player is Kai Kamara, who's 40 years old. Is he still on a team?
What? Where did he? I remember. Yeah, he used to play for Montreal, but that was like a minute ago.
I think he still plays for I don't know where he plays. Yeah, I think he still plays for Montreal. No. Recently, it says he joined FC Cincinnati in 2015. Is that right?
No, I don't know. Ask somebody who watches MLS, bro. No, we don't watch that thing. By the way, we had our fantasy season start. Yo, Kickbase, you disappointed me hard, bro.
Bro. We want to call? Yeah, let's do it. Yeah, what kills me about
I'm very disappointed. Everything has to pay. What I'm saying is, for Kickbase, if you said you want to grow the game, and this is a little annoying to me for MLS too, because MLS made them the official partner of fantasy soccer, right? And you know what? I was hyped. I'm like, you know what? Maybe fantasy soccer is what I need in my life. I don't have already 1,000 things, kids bothering me. No, I need fantasy soccer. But I thought actually it's a great way for me to want to watch more games, watch more players that I don't know about. So it would be perfect. But then you have this app that partnered with MLS, and it's like everything's on a paywall. Like, I shouldn't not be able to see my opponent's scores and like who they lined up. Like, I lost to somebody in my league. I don't know how he beat me. I just know he beat me by 200, 300 points. Yes, I suck at MLS fantasy, but who cares? That's not the point. The point is, if you're going to partner with MLS, make most of it free. Like, that's why the NFL is so fun to watch. People who don't even care about the NFL are watching a random Chicago Bears game because they have the wide receiver. And that's what you could do for MLS soccer. So it's a huge missed opportunity for Kickbase and MLS soccer pairing. Granted, I will say there's other apps, but Kickbase did have the best marketing this offseason. They like got me with their marketing, but then they didn't actually deliver with the product, which is disappointing.
And on that note, I know Fabian's the face of it. Fabian, first of all, sorry we didn't go to your event. But second of all, just fix this, homie. Like, it's not that complicated. I think you got to get rid of that paywall. But you want deep analytics and people really are invested in that.
Yeah, exactly. Make people pay for that.
Yeah, I completely understand, but that I can't see my opponent and the players they're playing. So then I can track their players too. You know what I mean?
Exactly. It grows the league.
Exactly. And I was caring, bro. You know who I really don't care about? New England Revolution. But
you had Carlos
on my team, and all of a sudden I cared. And I was like, and I liked the idea of like, each player costs a certain amount of money, and I'm like, oh man, like who's kind of a sleeper that's under this like 20 mil budget that I can like fit in my team. I was feeling it, but then the moment the game started and I'm not seeing the other team, it kind of loses all the fun. You got to fix that immediately.
Yeah. All right. We went on a tangent that nobody cares about. Well, I will say on that topic about the budget, I felt like I was an MLS executive. I'm like, we need more DP spots because I got no money. I'm getting this unknown 7th DP center back that I don't want in my lineup.
We got to talk to the commission of our league and figure out if this is right. Because what I couldn't figure out was that budget the right budget? It was $100 million. And Messi and actually any decent striker was above $50 million.
No, and I think that's another issue. The budget's too small. I think they're playing too much like it's MLS for real.
You gotta increase the salary cap, guys. We can't go with the Premier League. We can't challenge the Premier League. If you
look, we're changing our schedule. We also have to change our fantasy schedule to line up with the. All right, we got to move on from fantasy talk. Wait, did we finish our striker talk? I'm assuming we did. We don't have an answer. More memes to come about not having a striker for the next 4 weeks.
But I still want to give Nico a chance. I just want to say that everyone needs to not freak out. It's early. We can't just be like, we got to get a striker tomorrow. I think we have some people that can play that position, and we should give them a chance before we completely say the front office screwed up, even though our memes say that. But that's only because it's funny.
Well, no, but there's truth to funniness, right? That's why it's funny. So yes, we still need a striker. But I will say Nico Fernandez played a great number 9 against the Philadelphia Union last playoffs. And we're here again, Papa. It feels so soon since we last played Philadelphia Union that it's crazy that we're right back here against them. Give us a little breakdown. Give me a little preview because I didn't do my homework, but you did.
Well, I would say that although it just happened a couple games ago for us, official games ago that we played Philadelphia, this team has changed drastically since back then. They lost their top scorer, Baribo. They lost their best defender, Glesnes, because he was playing against us in LAF, against with the LA Galaxy, and they lost Wagner this offseason. So these guys are not as dangerous as they were last year. They still have Sullivan. As we know, Sullivan creates huge chances for that team. He's considered one of these rock stars that can probably, is going to end up in Europe sooner than later. But it's not the same squad. And so I think, and they lost against DC United last week.
Did you see it's great though. It's a full circle moment. I don't even think you know why they lost. Ty Baribo scored against his former team to win against the Philadelphia Union. That's a great story. I am shocked. And I didn't realize it till I was watching the game. Ty Baribo, why would they let go of Ty Baribo? He was their leading top scorer. I'm trying to figure out what the math isn't mathing here. Why wouldn't you want to keep that guy? And then on top of that, their striker that they replaced him with got a red card.
Wow. Yeah. That's crazy.
So that's another positive for us going into this game. Yeah, your lights are all turning off, bro. I think that Con Ed bill wasn't paid properly. So on top of that, that's a huge plus for us going into this game, knowing that their leading striker, I don't know if this was their guy. I'm assuming it was, isn't going to be able to play next game.
Yeah. So they're down a red card. And on top of that, they do have a CONCACAF game coming up.
Ooh.
On 26, they play.
Don't even try to name that team.
No, it's Defense Score. That's the weirdest name I've ever seen. I'm not sure it's supposed to say with a different accent or something, but that's the name of the team, Defense Score. But I would say you're okay, well, if they're going to play the 26, CONCACAF's way more important than the MLS game. So we're going to get a bunch of subs. However, they already played Defense Score, and they were up 5-0 that game. So they're,
I guess Defense Score really doesn't defend very well.
It's going to be tough.
You missed my joke. I said, I guess Are you on a delay?
No, you're a little laggy on my end, bro. Hopefully that's just my bad internet.
So what do you think our starting 11 is going to be for this game?
Wait, are we done? Wait, I missed your joke, and I want to hear your joke now.
Oh, I thought you actually heard the joke. I said, I guess now it's not funny, but I guess the defense score isn't very defensive.
Okay, I'm glad I heard that because that's pretty funny. I should have won that.
Now our listeners are gonna think this is the corniest thing ever because I had to say the joke 7 times. You need to get back to the studio, bro, before Mamdani's property taxes make me sell my house.
Oh my god. Okay. I don't know why I find that so funny.
What are you looking up? You're like on your computer, but you're not looking anything up. You haven't added something to this conversation.
I wanted to see who scored the goals, but Aladola did score a goal, and Calvin Sullivan. Yeah, also scored. So, okay, that is where I wanted to go. Okay, so let's go back. If we look at the odds for this game, Philly's favored hard, though. Even though, I mean, I guess because they destroyed defense score and they do still have Kevin Sullivan, you're seeing a negative 130 for them, a plus 260 for the draw, and us to win plus 330. So,
dang, that is crazy. That is disrespectful to us. I actually might take that like early right now before the odds change.
It is crazy. It is.
For them losing their striker for their next game, like how is that? That line doesn't make any sense. Yo, take the win plus 330. Do we roll out the same starting 11?
I want to see Keaton Parks out there, man. And I know I keep talking trash about Gustavo, although I thought he had a pretty solid game. We didn't even touch on him, but I thought he had a great passes to
Oh yeah, he had some great balls when they gave him the space, dude. He was dishing dimes out there. It was nice to watch.
Yeah. So he can actually distribute the ball, and he kind of reminds me a little bit of like what Burke Risa was doing in that position. He's a little weaker on defense, but he brings something offensively that like maybe Hack didn't have in that position. But I think it'd be interesting to see Traylon play center back and put Keaton Parks out there for more minutes. I want to see that. I don't know. What do you think?
I mean, I definitely want to see Keaton Parks. How Traylon fits into all that is interesting. I mean, you can always have a sub back, like center back. Like, I don't think that's a bad thing, right? Like, if one of your guys gets a knock or if one of them are tired by middle of the game, you can sub them out. And you always want fresh legs in center back because you know they're trying to attack you towards the end of the game no matter what. And they're going to have fresh legs. So you can always have Traylon come in as a center back. It's just interesting because now if we see him more as a defensive midfield, it's really going to be hard for him to get minutes with Aiden O'Neal and Keaton Parks back. That's how I kind of see it. I feel like, where's he going to fit into all this? Because if Keaton Parks is fully ready to go, then I see a lot less minutes for Traylon or Raul Gustavo. One of them are going to battle it out for that center back position is basically what the storyline is going to be.
Yeah, exactly. Or maybe you see a little bit of Aiden O'Neal coming in, Traylon taking over that spot too. So, I mean, Traylon plays a multiple position, so it'd be interesting to see how that works. But I want more Keaton Parks.
And Nico's still at the 9.
Yes.
I agree. Nico at the 9, but if he's looking gas towards the 70th minute, Seymour Reed, put him in. What do we have to lose at that point?
I want to see more Talish Magno.
But Magno could come out as a winger. We still need wingers. Honestly, what did you think of Ojeda's last game?
He was fine.
Well, what's interesting, we didn't talk about it, but if you look at from the first half to the second half, Ojeda changed positions and Hannes Wolf, they both lined up in different spots. One was on the left and then the other one was on the right, and they switched up. And Pascal Janssen said he did that because he want it where Ojeda was lined up. I don't think the matchup fit what they were trying to do. So I think he was trying to have Ojeda line up with maybe a weaker defensive back or right back or whatever it is, left back. So did you think that was a good move?
I mean, yeah, for two reasons. One, I think he didn't mention it, but I think Wolf, we've seen that statistically, Wolf does play better on the right. And I do think it kind of opened up a little few things for Gustavo. What you saw in that second half was Ojeda and like Kevin O'Toole kind of pushing forward a lot and being a lot more aggressive on that side. So yeah, I did think it was a good switch. And so I kind of don't want Ojeda to not be in the lineup, but I do think maybe from now on you play Ojeda on the left and Wolf on the right.
I am a lot more optimistic on Ojeda this year. I don't know why. Maybe you put it in my brain that he's going to have a great year, but something about him looks more aggressive, I would say. Like, I feel like he's not... I feel like last year he was just like shy. He had the ball and he was like timid and didn't know where he was going with it. But this year it feels like, all right, I have an idea. I'm pushing forward, and you see sometimes with his speed he gets past the defender. So I'm excited to see what Ojeda is going to look like this season.
Yeah, I think he just has to develop like his like, where's the next pass if I don't find it? Like, I think, you know, he uses his speed, and then when he realizes he doesn't have it to go, he just kind of takes a safe bet, and he doesn't do anything creative with the ball afterwards. And I think if he could, like, increase his creativity, he'd be just deadly. So yeah. I'm excited for him.
So what are our score predictions for this game after us getting disrespected by the DraftKings odds or fantasy FanDuel?
I think we have a better defense than defense score. And I think that they couldn't put up the points against DC United. I know they got a red card, so that put them at a disadvantage. But I think we have a better defense than DC United. So I think we end up with the same score and we win 1-0.
Who scores? Nico?
Talish Magno.
You're wilding out.
I'm Augustine Ojeda. I'm banking. You know what? No. Also Augustine Ojeda or Kean Parks. I'm putting my thought in those two boys. I
don't know why. I feel like this is going to be a 2-0 game. I feel like Philly might actually end up struggling this season, and this is going to be the start to their struggle. Well, they already struggled last game, but I think we're going to see them struggle this season with so many different changes and getting rid of so many marquee players that they had. NYCFC went 2-0, and I got Nico and Maxi Morales, the Philadelphia Killer.
Damn, that's a good call out. He always scores in Philly.
I love him.
But it always scores when we're there. We out?
Yo, we should go. Definitely not going, but we should go. Maybe we make it to a watch party, though.
Oh, yeah, that would be cool. Watch party would be nice.
Yo, you know what I like? It's another Sunday marquee game. Are we the team to watch? We got back-to-back Sunday night football?
Yo, bro, and not only that, but you got LA and Miami one night, and then New York and LA the next night. Is MLS knowing what they're doing finally?
I know. Highlight the big marquee cities. People like to watch them. It makes sense. Hopefully they highlight us more. While I will say we got some love. Did you see The Athletic posted their they post their yearly thing of what the executives think of like what's going on? Mm-hmm. They did who is the best goalkeeper in MLS, and our boy Matt Freese was 4th in the rankings for them. That's insane. The disrespect on Matt Freese is crazy. I'm just pissed about that.
I also heard that in that same survey, they said that they thought the goalkeepers in the MLS weren't up to par with other leagues.
Yeah, it's like, what is going on? Like, it just doesn't make sense.
I don't know. I don't understand. We got Matt Freese, who plays for the U.S. men's national team. You got Matt Turner, who played
overseas in Europe, but he didn't get much start, so I could see why the pushback on there.
But I just feel like when you think about what does the USA produce well, it's goalkeepers. Tim
Yeah.
Howard. Like, I just think it's odd that they came out with that in the survey.
Yeah, but the disrespect on Matthews was wild.
That is wild. They're gonna prove them wrong.
All right. I think it's a wrap.
Wait, one last thing that we gotta touch on.
What?
We kind of touched on it. LAFC versus Inter Miami. I want to talk about that really quick. It's not the NYCFC, but first, I thought it was a fantastic game. Watching Inter Miami get their ass whooped was really nice after they whooped our ass last year. But then on top of that, seeing Messi go to not the refs room to go yell at the refs, I posted on it when I saw the clip, and it just makes like Messi just look like such a villain in this league. And I think people think, he always gets the calls. The league sucks up to him. And now he's here yelling at refs after the game. Maybe not to their locker room, but they were heading in that direction. And I'm just like, what is this guy doing? Is this guy like hurting MLS's reputation? And I just wanted to get your thoughts on that. And hurting is actually not even hurting MLS's reputation, but hurting his own reputation. People reached out to us and said, I was a huge Messi fan, or my dad was a huge Messi fan. And now they started watching MLS and they can't stand him because of like what comes up, what gets like uproar, the way you see him complaining. And is Messi hurting his legacy by acting the way he is in MLS?
I don't know if Messi was always like this. That's the problem. I didn't watch Messi enough to be like, oh, Messi was not like this in other leagues. So I don't know if he was always like this, and that's why people didn't like him, because I'm sure there was a lot of Messi haters before he joined MLS. I will say his like attitude towards refs is the worst. Like, and his attitude towards any call that isn't for his team is so annoying. I feel like he's so entitled to like, the only calls are right my way. And I get it, players are going to complain about refs, but to go into whatever room that was where the refs were, and the crazy thing is he doesn't even get fined or in trouble for that. And I don't know the rules, and we should probably look it up, but like I think I forgot, there was a former I think Gazdag had a similar situation and he got fined, and I think he got suspended for a couple games. So it's like, it's a double standard here, like of like, why isn't he getting in trouble for these things, but other MLS players will get in trouble for this? So I don't know if that's exactly what happened. I don't know what's the difference between those two situations, but it's kind of crazy. And yeah, I agree. Like, it's hard to be a Messi fan. And the thing is, he's not growing the game, and we've complained about this already. It's like, okay, you came to New York, you came to the US to grow the game, but what have you really done for the game here? Like, you've been on Michelob commercials. What does that do for us? Like, that doesn't do anything.
I would say they did sell out the game. It was like 74,000 people came to watch that game. And I don't know if they went to go watch LA or they went to go watch Messi.
Well, there was a fan who tweeted something. He said, I want my money back. I came to see Messi and he didn't show up. But I get that. Yes, you'll sell out a crowd. But then the moment he's gone, what's going to happen? Are they going to stick around? I will say the good thing about LAFC is they put on a show and they're fun to watch. And that's why anytime Inter Miami comes here, I'm like, yo, we need to have our best performance. So then these guys want to stick around. Yeah. Because LAFC put on a show. And if I was just a Messi fan and going to that, I'm like, shit, LA plays some fun soccer. I want to stay to watch some LAFC. So that's really cool about that.
Yeah. No, and what I love about LAFC is they feel like a high quality team. They have the pace, they have the transition. You see them making real opportunities. I go, wow, this team could be competitive outside of this. It feels like they can be competitive outside of this league. Do I know if that actually translates over, or do they get their ass whooped by Wrexham? I have no idea, but I love to see it because they just look deadly out there, man. And they made Messi and his team look old. And it could just be the same thing, right? They have a bunch of new players. To them, it's kind of still the preseason. They're still trying to figure it out. But God, I like, because they're in the West, I feel like it's easy for me to cheer for LAFC, and I just think they're just fun to watch. They're entertaining. That's like my B team when it's not NYCFC.
Facts. But yes, insert Messi, annoying as hell, and it's annoying.
And bro, think about it. You know who was stopping him from going into that room? Luis Suarez. He was the voice of reason.
That is wild to think about that.
Ear, bro.
What happened?
Didn't that guy bite someone's ear? He definitely headbutted.
Yeah,
someone.
that dude's crazy. Everything Luis Suarez does is crazy. So yeah, I mean, those two are wild, bro. The fact that Suarez has to hold you back is terrible.
That's how you know you're going too far, bro.
All right, bro.
But yeah, that's what I want to talk about.
All right, y'all. It's been Rio. Maybe we watch.
I didn't hear a word you said because you played the audio, but yep, watch party sounds good.
Peace.